I've had a history of chronic illnesses, and particularly one that is a rare genetic disorder. It's called an IgG immune deficiency, or common variable immunology deficiency. Okay, and it was something that I really began, even though I was sick a lot as a child, I was able to kind of overcome it. But after I had my second child, I was about 28. For some reason, it just came on with a vengeance. And I was sick all the time. I was just on constant antibiotics. I'd go to work part-time, come home, be exhausted, have 2 kids to take care of, couldn't even take care of them, had to kind of hire somebody, you know. So I was just very sick. When I was about 23, I got endometriosis, which was misdiagnosed, and I had a big cyst, which nobody knew about. It ruptured, and then I almost died. And they had to rush me to the hospital, and I had peritonitis and all this stuff. Well, they told me I needed to have children early, and so I did, and I was not prepared for it. And so I don't know if that was part of the reason that my immune thing was so bad. I was so sick that I ended up being on prednisone. For years, I was on prednisone, probably 5 years, and I ended up weighing over 200 pounds. And so I had been to numerous allergists. I had been to, I tried doing hypnosis, meditation, everything. Wasn't getting anywhere. Ended up with a complete hysterectomy when I was, 35. But right before that, I was told that I probably had depression. And it runs in my family really strong. My father was bipolar, his father was bipolar. So anyway, I started getting, so this is about 1992, 93, I ended up going on IVs, gamma globulin. So I got those IVs every 4 weeks, So anyway, but I was still getting sick all the time anyway. And I was on like nonstop antibiotics, and I knew that this was not the way to go, but it was like I was told by the immunologist that you can't get rid of this common variable thing unless you take this, Gamma Guard liquid every 4 weeks. And other than that, you just have to kind of put up with it. And then in 2015, my sister, I'd helped my sister with a hypnosis project, because I actually do hypnosis. I'm a hypnotist. I'm pretty much retired now, but anyway. And she sent me Dr. Joe's book. And so I read You Are the Placebo. And I went to sleep, and I woke up, and when I woke up, I was like, I'm going to be well. So after that, for 6 months, I had no infections, and I cut my medicine for the psychiatric medication in half. I was going around. I was doing really well. Then my daughter started having some stressors, and I started getting sick again. And not as bad as I was, because I was still doing some meditation, but I was one of those people that meditated in bed. Yeah. So at that point, so finally, to make a really long story short, in 2017 I went to the advanced, and that's really when things changed. And I was very lucky to be in the Coherence Healing. I got to be a healee. And it was the most amazing experience, and I was, and I loved what Dr. Joe had to say to us even before we went in. And I was just crying. I was in tears, but I just felt like I had forgiven myself and began to forgive other things around me. And anyway, something really changed, and I came home, and I was like, for about a month after I came back, I had a headache, but I was determined that I was going to, and I really think my mind my brain, my old self was like really like, we're not, we're not going to do this. But I continued to listen to the, to the meditations, do the meditations. Then I found out about Deer Healing Group. So I started participating in that. And my health, all of a sudden, I got my first cold about a month later. And within 5 days, it was gone. My colds would go on for like 3 weeks. I'd be sick. And they weren't like, oh, you got a little cold. It would be like you were laid out in bed sick, So that was like 5 days. So that was really great. So basically, I have been like so well, I just, and if I get sick at all, I know it's my thinking now. And I just meditate and let that thinking go. The other thing that I did, which I changed that really helped my health too, was that I have children and grandchildren that have these same illnesses that, my grandson has the IgG immune deficiency, and so I'd worry about them, but what I started to do is I started imagining the future I wanted. And their health and their well-being has gotten so well. In fact, I talked to my grandson, and I just a couple of days ago, and I said, so you liking school? He hated school last year, by the way. He was so depressed. I can't get into, but it was a very serious depression. But anyway, he likes his teacher. He has friends now. He's enjoying himself. And I said, I've been imagining those things for you. And he said, well, Nana, you are the best imaginer.